Hey guys, forceful crip walking, even though I haven't been fully initiated because of some weird loophole here with another video. Getting hit by a car ain't gonna hold back the pig. So today I'm coming at you with a trick so hard that your parents might actually think you are actually a crip. I don't mean hard in the sleight of hand sense, because this trick is easy peasy, put that cheesy on my deezy. I mean hard in the sense of like the street, cuh. Well, anyways, this episode is sponsored by the fantastic projects on pigcake.me. Pigcake.me is the home of all things pigcake with all my projects getting rave reviews. Go check it out, pigcake.me. Support your boy while getting some hot magic while you're at it. Well, let's just jump into the trick like Shaft on honkies. Whoa, how did we get here? It's almost like I spent an aggravating amount of time setting up this awful shot with a tripod still in the actual framing. To show you this card trick, we're going to be using the brand new DMC Elite Alphas. DMC Elite Alpha playing cards. Because believe it or not, this deck actually has a very special property, sir. I don't know if you're aware of this, but this deck could actually medically make a claim about you. It could tell me what your biggest medical issue is. So we're going to be using this deck to find out what your big medical issues, sir. So what I want you to do is just cut off a small portion of the cards, not too many. That's perfect right there, just a small amount. And I want you to deal it into just two piles. So the spectator does this, and you tell him you can deal however way you want. You could deal cards here, deal some cards here, as long as you feel comfortable with where the cards end up. So spectator ends up doing this, and you go, great job. This really facilitates the medical process. The government really wants to shut down on these cards because then it's going to replace the healthcare industry, and they're very afraid of that. So we have to really be on a DL with this deck. Sir, I want you to do the same thing, but with the rest of the cards. I want you just to take the rest of the cards in your hand, deal it into two piles. But again, you could deal however you want. You could deal some here, you could deal more or less here. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to let you stop whatever it is that you want. Right there, good job. Good eye, sir. So let's think about this. You cut, you pretty much determined where the piles ended up. Really could have ended up anywhere, but you ended up on a couple cards. Let's see. Well, we have a G here. We have a G. That's fairly interesting. This, again, going to tell me your biggest medical issue. Oh, a U. A U. That's interesting. A little bit unsettling so far. Oh, an N. And, oh, a T. A gunt. Sir, you have a gunt. That's when you have a combination of a and a gut combined into one unit on your midsection known as the gunt. So I would get that checked out. I prescribe less Doritos and Mountain Dew. But I guess it comes with being a magician, doesn't it? So let's go over the actual explanation for this trick. If you want to use the alphas, or if you want to use the spelling deck, you're more than welcome to accommodate the method for it. However, in terms of just the explanation, I'm going to be using these green cherry casino cards, the green cherry casino cards for the explanation of this amazing, wonderful trick. That's pretty much a spectator cuts the aces. I've been obsessed with spectator cuts the aces for pretty much my entire life, which explains why I've never actually seen a female. But for this particular method, it's a very simple one that just involves the spectator going through a couple actions. It's nothing too challenging for them to do, and it's very, very simple. So for this, let's just use whatever four of a kind we find here. We're going to use the 4 tens just for the sake of explanation. The prep is that we're going to start with 2 tens on top and 2 tens on the bottom. No racial implications there. We have the reds on the bottom and we have the blacks on top. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a false cuts, any sort of false cut you want. I like this Frank Thompson false cuts where you just cut packets onto the table. All that I'm doing there, for those of you guys that have been around Magic for more than 3 milliseconds, is you swing cut a pile to your left hand, swing cut another pile to your left hand, but you keep your pinky in there, separating the packets, much like the separation caused by early onset divorce in your parents. You're going to drop this packet on the table, You're going to pick up all the cards above the break, drop that on the pile on the table, and then finally drop these. And then you're going to say, ka. But anyways, now you're ready to tell the spectator to just cut off a small portion of cards, not too many. Again, the reason for this is because you don't want them dealing through half the deck. You only want them to deal through a couple cards here. But if you notice, what you're going to tell them is you're going to tell them to deal the cards into 2 piles. So when they start dealing the cards in 2 piles, obviously they're going to deal the top 2 cards in 2 piles. But from this position, once they've dealt the first 2 cards on the table, you could pretty much tell them to deal the cards however it is that they want. So once they pass this and maybe they've dealt one more, you go, no, actually you could deal more here, you could deal more or less here, however it is that you feel comfortable, sir. So they might want to deal more here, they might want to deal more here. This makes it seem like they have a choice, but they really don't, because well, the 10s are already on the bottom. That's kind of the little sneaky portion of this trick. Now, while this has happened, you have a number of options as to how you're going to get these 10s from the bottom of the deck to the top of the deck, because that's what you need to do. So while the spectator is going through this process, you're more than welcome to do an overhand shuffle on the cards, bringing those bottom cards right to the top, much like the Black Rights movement. So now you could carry on with the rest of the trick. Now that's with the overhand shuffle method. If you happen to want to use some sort of invisible control where you do some side steal, some nefarious, hard shin limb like maneuver to bring those cards to the top, you're more than welcome to do that. However, I think that's grossly unnecessary and really just trying to prove that you got some chops to other magicians. But honestly, if you think about that, you're trying to prove to other magicians that you're good at doing magic. Ew. What are you, some kind of loser? Like you have some sort of problem? So the rest of the trick is fairly simple and straightforward. You have the spectator take the rest of the cards. If you want, you could do a little bit of a false shuffle at this point, but that's, again, wholly unnecessary. You tell the spectator to take the rest of the cards and to also deal 2 more piles. Now, obviously, once they dealt the first 2 cards, that's where you remind them again. You could deal however it is that you want. You could deal more cards here, more cards here. And as a matter of fact, you could stop whatever it is that you want. Again, these are options to the spectator that make it seem more of a choice, but really it's not. It's not a choice. Their location is precisely measured by you, the magician, from before the trick even started. So now at this point, you remind the spectator, you do the little memory bit where you say, look, I want you to remember that you could have dealt the cards however it is that you wanted. You could have really dealt here. You could have mixed the cards before you dealt them. You could have done anything you wanted, but instead we've come to a couple random spots here, namely the 10 of spades, the 10 of clubs, the 10 of hearts, and the 10 of diamonds. Good eye. Good eye, sir. You're better at this than your mom told you you were. But that's with a 4 of a kind. If you want to do this with the DMC Elites, you're going to have to order the cards specifically so that you could actually get the correct spelling at the end. They're going to have to be in reversed order. And when you do the overhand shuffle technique, keep in mind that the last 2 cards are going to have to be reversed, because when you overhand shuffle the cards, I don't know if you noticed this, but you're reversing the order of the cards. You see that? Yeah, that's what you're doing. So the first 2 are going to be normal, right? But the second 2 have to be reversed, because when you overhand shuffle those to the top, guess what? They're going to be in a... so keep that in mind. You guys are smart. You could figure it out. You could definitely figure that out. But this is a little bit of a fun ace cutting routine, or a 10 cutting routine, or pretty much whatever you want to turn it into. That doesn't really require a lot of effort and is really deceptive. People tend to dismiss these that end up with the cards on the bottom for some odd reason. I don't know why. It's the same thing. Spectators don't typically remember, oh, did they come from the top or the bottom? If you just turn the piles over just like this, it's fine. They're not going to question you. They're lay people. What do they know? They don't know. They don't know anything. But that's a trick, man. That's a trick. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for joining me on this hot adventure. Thank you guys for all the support, honestly. Thank you guys for that. I left a couple of videos about this fun accident, getting hit by a car. And the overwhelming support was, you know, palpable. It's palpable. And it was definitely something that I needed. So I can't thank you guys enough. But enough of the you know, sob stuff. Penis and and assholes. I'm back, bitch. Skeet, cuh. So I'm gonna go figure out different ways to use the Complete Idiot's Guide to Street Magic to try to get a date with epinephrine.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.